So, well, I'm going to go over a very subtle point today that you probably are not going to hear many people online speaking about when it comes to manifestation concepts, goal setting, and thinking about what you want and feeling what you want. Uh, if you don't know who I am, my name's Tim. I've written multiple books on this subject. I've made hundreds of videos. There will be a link in the description if you want several playlists that are hundreds of videos long talking about this subject. And there's also a free book of mine and a free consultation you can schedule with me. Links are in the description for all that stuff. One of the big issues we see, particularly in the law of assumption space, the Neville space, is people obsessing over how they feel. And in general, in the law of attraction space too, we see this obsession about being high vibe, right? Oh, if your vibe's high, everything's just going to take care of itself, right? That's the sentiment that we see all the time in the space. And there is obviously nothing wrong with having a high vibe or feeling good, right? I talk about in many places, and I've written in many places, if you feel good, wonderful. Like you're all set. Fantastic. However, what's not really spoken about and what makes this video advance compared to pretty much everything on YouTube is the fact that, and it's an obvious fact, if you get out of the LOA space, the fact that you're not going to feel good all the time, guys. Okay? This is the elephant in the fucking room. If you already know how to feel good a lot of the time, then applying these various goal-setting manifestation ideas, getting more of what you want, in your outer world by feeling good on the inside and seeing the good on the inside, the positive expectation on the inside turn into outer results, it's all going to be relatively easy for you. Maybe not as easy as these guys online say, where it will come in 3 days or it will come in 3 weeks or whatever, but relatively easily. If you have an incredibly positive attitude and take appropriate action and feel good most of the time, things that, a lot of people would say would take a decade might take you 2 years, for instance, right? Which is incredible when you think about it that way. However, here is the elephant in the room, the truth hiding in plain sight that people in the community do not want to admit. Most of us do not feel good a lot of the time. Actually, I would take it a step further, especially because I work with a lot of people with relationship issues, right? Not only do people not feel good a lot of the time, people feel like shit a lot of the time. I work with people who want to manifest a certain partner back into their life or have a new romantic partner, and they're like, I want this person into my life. I want to attract this person into my life. I'm trying to do these, idea techniques, apply these ideas, staying high vibe. And you can tell after speaking to them for 10 or 15 minutes, they're down and out. They feel like crap. And the problem is most of these law of assumption and law of attraction ideas don't really explain to you what to do when that is happening. Because it's one thing to just be like, live in the end, feel good. It's one thing to say that. It's another thing to fucking do it. Forget about living in the end. Just focus on feeling half decent a lot of the time. That's hard enough for most of us. That is the real work a lot of the time, is figuring out what's going on so I can feel somewhat relaxed and relax into the feelings and the resistance that comes up when I start taking actions to, meet that person or to improve my health or to make more money or to start this business. How do I react and feel when all these negative things come up when I start working on that? When I start taking appropriate action? And the answer is, quite often, people feel like shit. And this video is advanced because I'm telling you that's fucking okay. It's okay to feel like shit. Do you really think a lot of these successful business people, every day they wake up and they're like, I feel fantastic today. I'm high vibe. I'm going to be high vibe the whole day. And then they work 12 hours and they're high vibe the whole time? Or the people who are really good at relationships are like, everyone they talk to, they're happy all the time. And when loved ones have difficult stuff, or when their 3-year-old is yelling and screaming and will not ride their scooter back up the hill and is telling you to carry them from CVS and you're very tired, that they feel high vibe all the time. You think I felt high vibe a half hour ago dealing with my 3-year-old screaming? No. And at the same time, that's no big deal. That's no big deal. Because if you recognize what's important to you, for instance, if you recognize being a loving person or being a successful business person or being, excellent at your job is important to you, you will tolerate those ups and downs and feelings, those ups and downs and frequencies without having it freak you out because you recognize what you want and who you are embodying. Feelings come and go, guys. Feelings come and go. And in no way am I saying that you should not stay high vibe if you can. I'm just saying I have met very few people who can stay high vibe. And if you can, fantastic. And if you like certain channels that talk about that and it resonates with you, fantastic. I've paid energy coaches thousands of dollars over the years to help train me how to stay more high vibe. And I got to tell you, I don't think I'm any more high vibe than I've ever been. It doesn't matter. Sure, it's nice to feel good, but if you recognize what you want and recognize the truth of what you want, for instance, if you recognize that God is supply, whenever you recognize that and really consider it and feel it, not just with your mind, but with your body, it doesn't matter if you're high vibe or not. What matters is you're embodying that truth. And I think embodying that truth is what makes it so a tired parent can, continue on and keep on loving their kids and doing what needs to be done. Or a successful business person who is passionate about their job can work 12 or 14-hour days, 6 days a week for years on end. Or how, someone who wants to regain their health can work on rehabbing their body for hours and hours and hours a day. Or somebody who wants to be, in a great relationship is willing to go out and meet new people and talk to people. It's not about being high vibe, okay? High vibe is great, but I don't give a fuck if you're high vibe. I care about you focusing on what you want, relaxing into what you want, relaxing into the feelings, the contractions, the resistance that comes up, and still realizing you're okay. And again, that's what I coach people on. If you need help with coaching, getting coached on that, because people don't usually talk about it, that's what I can help you with. I care about you facing the resistance and realizing that you're an okay person and that you can still achieve what you want by recognizing that you're okay right now and focusing on your so-called goal. And recognizing that even if your goal doesn't come to you in the way you want, even if you don't manifest exactly what you want, you're okay anyway. And if you're not going to get what you want, you very often will get something else that you like, maybe even better. You go outside of this small, manifestation law of attraction law of assumption pond, and this just seems like common sense. But, common sense is uncommon these days. And if we learn to see that a lot of the negative resistance we might feel is not actually the bad thing we expect it to be, especially in LOA, people are like, I feel fearful. There's something, or I feel shame. This means I'm not high vibe. This means I can't get what I want. Nonsense. Again, just think about all those people who were putting themselves out there on dates who felt nervous. Who doesn't feel nervous on going out on a first date or when they first meet someone? Basically, everybody does. What kind of business person does not feel, stressed out about their business when they're running their business or starting out all the time or working many hours trying to focus on something? Stress is going to happen, guys. Not feeling high vibe is going to happen. How are you going to deal with that? That's what this stuff is really about a lot of the time. So that is Tim's car video reminder for the day. Links for all that stuff's in the description. Until next time, don't worry about high frequency. Just relax. You're good.